Hello and welcome here to my YouTube channel. This video will be very different from my normal videos where I'm doing something. But in this video I will tell you a little about what I have been up to here in my spare time over the last couple of weeks. And then I will talk a little about keeping a little vacation time here from my channel also, but I will do that at the end of the video. My name is Lisbeth, and I'm a Danish abstract mixed media artist who likes to do many different things, and you will see that here in this video here. If you have been following along here and want to support my work with my channel or with my challenge, my embroidery, Dogma Rule embroidery challenge this year, you're more than welcome to that. And for that I have put links under here, the little word more. There is a Ko-fi account and there's a PayPal account you can support me. But in any way, don't feel obligated. And if there are other things I will be linking to, I will also put them here under the little word more. But enough of me talking about that. I don't really like to talk much about it, but yeah, I have to mention it, I think. But let us talk about what is on my table here right now. The first thing I want to talk about is these papers lying here. And if you're following along on Facebook or on Instagram, you perhaps saw my post yesterday. I'm so lucky. I have several friends, mainly ladies, girls, women, who are interested in many of the same things as I am. And we often meet and do some things together. And one of them I was visiting yesterday, and we have done many different things when we meet, but yesterday it was such a nice weather. In fact, this is very hot weather here in Denmark right now, and that is also why I have a hard time sitting down and filming, because my brain is getting very heated and hot sometimes. But I was at her place yesterday and we stood out in her garden, and we have decided to go big, and in the sense of last year we bought a whole roll of watercolor paper. It is 1.5 meter wide and it was 10 meter long. So we have last year made a book of a piece of that paper, and yesterday we decided to cut off a piece to each of us in 1.5 meter by 90 centimeter. So that was a big piece. So she did something different than I did, but I have for a long time really wanted to try to splash big arm movements and going all over at the same time, and just fill this very big piece of paper with colors and marks and using different tools. And that is what I did. And now I will insert a little video. You can see me standing painting under an apple tree, and there are some pictures of the whole sheet and parts of the whole sheet. It's not very long. It will take just a second, but I will insert it here. When I started painting this, I had no idea what it would be used for or what it would end up with. But one thing I had decided was I would go only neutral in colors, not to get so many distractions from colors. So I used white, pure white, black, 2 creamy different colors and 2 gray colors in acrylic paint. And then I used some acrylic inks, charcoal powders, and some diluted thin acrylic paint. I have in a bottle with a very fine tip. I can make these marks. And then I also had a stencil or 2 with me. And again, now for a new story, I have another friend. I'm so lucky I have so many friends, but she has just bought a machine that can cut in Mylar, and I was visiting her a couple of weeks ago, and we tried to make stencils, and yeah, this was the first one, and it isn't exactly very difficult. That was just me drawing some oval shapes in a piece of paper, and then she cleaned it a little up, because you have really to be precise with your lines, or else the machine, it can read or see anything, this machine. So but it ended up with this interesting stencils. But at the moment I'm quite not obsessed, but occupied, or my interest. I think these oval shapes really are nice, and perhaps it is easier if I put it on here instead of. So here I made a round one and filled it in with these oval shapes, and a bigger version of these older shapes. I had drawn all these and placed them on the paper, and then she again cleaned it up and put it into this machine and printed these. These came out, cut it out. So these stencils I also was using here in these papers. But when I looked at the big paper, I could see either I should have turned it around and painted it on the backside and made a book like the book I was talking about we made last year, where we painted on both sides, and then we parted and went home and did a lot of mark making and collaging on the pages. But I can't use this for a book because there's nothing on the backside. So I decided to cut this big piece up, so I did that. So now I have 6 pieces that are 30 by 30 centimeters, and I can show them to you here. This is the first one, and they are, I don't know if this is up or down, or what it will end up with, or what I will do, but I have a vague idea about what I will be doing. This is quite black, and that is the charcoal, and it is still smearing, so I will have to spray it again or put some more water on. It is quite dark, this one. And I just turned it upside down and cut it. I didn't look where I couldn't see where I cut. I haven't been using what are they called? These viewfinder. I just cut them, and then I must take what comes. But this is one I really like. I think I won't do much more to this. And here that's my stencil again there. So they are quite different, even though it's only the same colors I've been using. And the tools I was using, me and a brush and acrylic paint, that is a no-go. I can't paint with a brush. So I have an old credit card, and I have a catalyst switch, and I have my fingers, and I sprayed with some water also to get it more floating, but that is what I have. It's no go with a brush, and even if I had taken a big brush, I don't like the brush marks, and that's probably why I like this squeeging around instead. But 6 of them I have got, and then I cut the rest of the paper up. So these here are 30 by 45 centimeters, and they are also quite different. And I don't know about the measurement here. I have to figure out if they're going this way or that way, and if I like that measurement. But if I don't, I can always cut them down to squares. I really like the square format. But it is also interesting and a challenge to do something other than you used to do. Do some other things. Challenge yourself. So they are a little wild, even though the colors are. It is not bright screaming colors, but I like these colors. Yeah, this one is also very dark. And this one is very light, and I like when these marks are under and I have got white over it. So some I like better than others. So this is how this big sheet of paper ended up yesterday. And what I've been thinking about is, and this will not be in this video, for this video will be only me talking, but I'm thinking about pairing them up 2 by 2 and say these two things I think look nice together, and then I will only do embroidery on these two, and 2 others I think I will only do collaging on, and the other 2 I will probably work further on and do more painting and more mark making on, and so on. That's my plan right now. But if I start doing that, I will of course video what I'm doing. So this is something I have been enjoying very much doing here. So that was all the story about all these here. You can see my stencil. I've just been jelly printing with it here, and it would probably end up in something. The next I want to talk about is I have just attended a course myself, so I won't go into details as such because it's not my, I don't think I can do that, because the woman I have been on this course to, she is earning her living by doing that, so that is not for me to go too much into details. But I can show you I was at that course, and that lady is I can say her name and so, but if you're not are Danish, it doesn't matter very much. But she's called Kirsten, and her company is called Spectrum, and she is the master of anything about dyeing and printing on fabrics with all different kinds of medias. And this course was for 3 days, and I stood up for 3 days making different fabrics. And the first day was about wax resist. So we on the course got a bunch of already colored fabrics, and they were dyed with Prussian MX, and that is a dye you can look it up, and it's a quite normal way to dry fabrics. And then we had some different tools or things to make marks with wax on the fabric. And here it was just some children's plaything of plastic thing. It's not just a sponge, it's something much harder plastic, but it's a little squeegee. So we dipped this plastic thing or whatever we had. It could be a cardboard with some lines from some packaging. It could be many different things. We dipped that in the hot melted soya wax and printed in here. And when that was totally dry, the wax was totally dry, we put the fabrics up in hot water, and then it melted, and then we could scrape it off. And the background fabric had that color there. And I think I'm saying it a little wrong. When the wax was dry, before I was putting it in hot water, I gave it another layer of paint. So that is why there are two colors. That is how the fabric looks before I was painting with this color. And there are some different ones I made with that. And color-wise, it's really out of my comfort zone, but there are some quite hush colors here, but I probably can use parts of it because I never use a big piece. You know me, when I do the fabric collages, I only use small pieces, but I can show you some of them here. They here are all made, just remove that, made the same way here. And that was some packing material. And another fun thing is that the fabric was this turquoise color, and somehow this comes out when you put the other colors on. I don't know what happens. It's some chemical reaction, but it's made the same way. So the fabric was this color, and then I just painted with two different colors here over the dry wax, and again rinse the wax out. And this is made the same way here, and I really like this. This was one of these dabbers, the scum, you have these round things you could dab, so the wax was sitting there and there. I like this piece here, that's more my colors, but and this was also some children's play thing. There was this, I don't remember what it's called, but it's some, like when you're washing yourself with a sponge, I think it's called. And you dip that in wax and roll it also. So the fabric was that color, and I rolled some green, and somehow this purple thing again came out exactly as the other one. And here I just had a square thing to punch in. So yeah, that was one thing. I won't show you the mold, but this is done the same way. And when this was done, we had this product here, and you probably know that, and that is a product you can use to remove some of the paint. It is quite sticky, and it smells like this. And you have had a stencil with very small holes in, and then I just rolled it on and let it dry. And when it's dry, you put your iron with damp on, and then it gets white where you had this paste on here, and you can buy it, I think, many different places. I bought it before I attended this course because I had some black fabric, and I have used chlorine for making marks on that black fabric, and it turned quite orange. And when I told Kirsten, the lady that teach me that I was doing that, she nearly hit me in the kind way, because chlorine is poison. Don't put it on your fingers, don't smell to it, or many use it for cleaning, and if you do that, wear gloves or do it outside. It is really poisonous, much more than you think. But it looks quite funny when you drip it on black fabric, then you get some really nice marks. But this product does that instead, and that isn't dangerous. So and the black marks here on this fabric it's just an old duvet cover I have been using, so, and painted it over with some colors. And again here we had this product here etching away. The fabric here was white with black dots, and I painted it in this color and put this ditched decolorant on, and then when I didn't think it looked very nice, then she had some thermofaxes with that little flower pattern, and I put gold in. So it's I don't know, but it samples this one here, And that is also a thermoflex with gold paint squeezed through. And the same with this one here also. And of course, you always make drips. So I just dripped a little more. But again, you will probably see one of these in one of my collages at one point. And you can also do this on paper. So again, here I have also used something to block the color out. And again, the gold one there. And there are these two. And here I just painted my paper with the fluid Prussian color, printed the black marks, and that was with another paint through thermoflex, and again the golden one over, and that one really looks nice. So that was about all the different way of printing here. One other thing I also really much like to do is rust dyeing, and this piece was just left over from the course. And last time I was on our landfill, it's a place where we can put our garden things, we call it, of trees and lawn, and all the things we put there. And they have a tent where people put things in you can take if you want to. And there was a big round saw blade. I think it is for, I don't know what it is for, but of course it was from a machine that could saw in something. It's this size and with pointed text there, and it was quite rusty. So I just placed it upon this, and I think this is just not Prussian. It is perhaps another binder with some pigments in. I can't remember now, but I placed that on there, and hasn't it really rusted very nice? I think I will go for this side up. Again, my beloved round thing. So this I will be stitching into. And when this was done, I took the same kind of fabric, and I didn't iron it or anything. And dipped it in tea and squeezed it and placed again that saw blade here, and it bleeded out, and it took a hell of a time to get this mark here, and now it's been lying here for a couple of days. So I will iron it first, and when I have been ironing them, I think I will try to. Most of this will probably disappear if I put it under water again, but it has some white marks there, and that's because I think I was putting salt on it at one point. So I don't know if I can, perhaps I can do this instead. I don't know, or it will be a little lighter, but I think I will iron them first. So that is also something I have been playing. The last thing I want to show you is another way of sun printing, and that is such an easy way. Here in Denmark, or at Kirsten, as I talked about, we can buy a binder, an aqua binder it is called, and it looks like milk. It has the same consistency as milk, and how can I say it? I love my earth pigments, and I mix them in this binder and paint fabrics with that. You can't do sun printing with earth pigments, but with dry pigments, that's synthetical pigments, you can do it. So that is so easy. You have this binder, and then you have these dry pigments, and you mix them up in the color you like. Place your fabric either with needles, or you can use masking tape or something on a very flat surface, and then you put things on it, and then if it's hot summer and the sun is shining, it takes half an hour and you can see the imprint, because it's not the sun as such who does this, it's the heat that does it. So it's very hot where you live and no sun, you could also do it through a window. You don't need, like when you're doing cyanotypes, there you need the real sun, but you don't need the real sun here. It just has to be hot. So I've just placed some different things on my fabric and got these marks, and again you will probably see them in my fabric collages here. Some of them are more clear than others. The important thing is that the things are flat, and this is a wooden piece I have, and it is because it has been wet many times, been more wobbly, and that is why it doesn't look very neat. But this one isn't wobbly, so that is a much nicer impression here. And again, here you can see my stencil. I just painted this in this, I think I have two different brown colors, and placed the round stencil and let it be there in the sun for half an hour, and then I got this lovely one. And these two are made the same way. There are three here. This one are some cork things. I think they were meant for as coasters, and somehow they don't always get, yeah, you can see it's round, but it's not clear round, and it's a little more diffuse, and I like that. So I will be stitching on this at some point. And these two here I did at the course also, and that was before these got wobbly, and I really don't know why that one is got black, other than it must have some black thing in the three that was going in there, because the three others didn't turn out that way. I had three of them and she had one, and I think that one is hers, but I don't know. But where it really is, if you're into botanical stuff and leaves and things, here you can see that is just two leaves. Perhaps can come in a little closer here. I'll turn it this way here. And isn't that exciting? You can do such nice things. And again, this is turquoise, and it was a dark gray I mixed together. So it is, because you're painting with a big brush, and you're not frugal with the binder with the pigments in, then it will mix a little. So some of the turquoise will sit there, and you're not in doubt. This is a leaf. You can see it so clearly. So I will be experimenting a little more with that, but with some smaller things, because this is a little too big for things I am doing. So it was just a sample. So this was another thing I had been experimenting with, and about the course I attended. So this was just a little glimpse of things I have been spending my time on doing, and I hope you find it interesting, even though I wasn't doing something specific. But perhaps it gives you an idea about when I'm making a video, that's not only me just sitting down and doing something. There are a lot of work before that to make the stuff I use in the things I make and show you. There are many thoughts behind what I will do and how I will do it and how to present it, and how much can I show and how little can I show, and something. And there's a limit, of course, because some of the things, that is not often I attend courses myself, because when you do so many things as I do and you teach yourself, there isn't a place here in Denmark other than the woman I talked about where I can take courses, because I know so many things myself. So, but I can use the samples and the work I've been attending at the course here, and I will probably also do things here at home by myself, but I hope you can understand why I can't say much more about this than I do, because I won't step on her toes and reveal a lot of things. People must seek their information about that and attend courses themselves. And I'm sure if you live in UK or you live in Australia or in the US, you have much more success with finding people that teach these things. Denmark is such a small country, and yeah, that is why I see it like I do. But right now, I need some vacation. I need to get my brain powered up again, if you can say so. It is very hot right now, and that also means that my head doesn't function as well as it perhaps could function. And I won't say I'm running out of ideas to make videos, but right now I have been making videos for a little over 4 years. And at some point, I don't know if I will ever run out of ideas totally, but I need to think a little and think about what we will be doing in the fall. And the only thing that I will continue here for the next couple of weeks is the Stitch Circle Show Challenge. There will be a new video coming up here on the first Thursday in next month. And I don't know if I will take 14 days or 3 weeks or holiday. I don't know yet. But there are so many other videos you can look at. Look at the playlist and find the things that interest you. Another thing is, I am turning 70 the upcoming December month here, and I've been thinking a lot about how to celebrate that, and you will hear more about that later, but I think it will be something about you challenging me instead of the other way around. That's my thought right now, but I haven't a complete idea ready so I can reread it right now, but during the fall I will tell you about it, because then I will be more certain about what it is I think I want to try to do, and you can help me with that. So I think I will just end this video up here and saying, I hope after all you have been inspired by seeing what I have been doing so far in my spare time, or when it's like being in school or experimenting and doing things, and I really like that. But perhaps it is not the most interesting videos for you this way here when I ain't doing something specific, but bear with me. And I will take a little break, and if you have liked this video, please give my video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel. Hit the notification bell, then you will know when there will be a new video up, but I think I will at least keep 14 days holiday here for me. And perhaps if I'm home on a Saturday, I will make the word challenge. That is a small project, so perhaps that, but for else I will take a little pause, and I hope you are okay with that and you don't forget me. So bye bye for now, and please be creative and playful, and please be nice to yourself and to everybody around you. So bye bye for now.